You know how some mornings you wake up and you're all like, oh, I look terrible, and then there are some days and you're just like, girl, I'm fabulous. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Couch Chronicles, your inside connection to the couch of a therapist office without paying a single dime. So I made a promise this week, and now I gotta tell you, I'm a liar. Bum, bum, bum! I'm sorry. The promise I made was that this week I was going to do a vlog on panic Googling, but I quickly realized that in order to do the subject justice the way that I think it should have been done, I was gonna need some help, because as it turns out, it's really hard to film, act, and get everything that you want, like, creatively in a video by yourself. I have a dog, but you can imagine that trying to get him to do stuff is physically impossible. So instead of doing my panic Googling video today, I decided that I would do another clarification video. So as you guys probably know, last week I did a vlog called Let's Talk About Depression. This morning I decided that after having that really rough week 2 weeks ago, that I wanted to talk to my counselor about it, and we discovered some interesting stuff. As it turns out, I might be scared to feel negative emotions. Let's be real, nobody wants to feel sad or angry or upset, but as it turns out, I am so against feeling unhappy that when I start to feel unhappy, I get anxious, which sends my mind into a whirlwind, which then ends up making me feel sad and distressed and angry and uncertain, which makes me feel sad, which makes me feel anxious. Do you see the problem? We did some weird stuff today. Like, I'm not gonna lie, one of the things he told me was, we're gonna try an exercise. And I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I need you to talk to your arm. This arm, in particular. Me and my left arm had a really great conversation today. It was nice. And you know, say what you want, but it helped, okay? I feel a lot better. After I talked to my left arm, I got to kind of travel back in time in my mind and talk to a younger version of myself to try and figure out what it was that was causing me to feel like I couldn't feel sad, or I shouldn't feel sad, or why I have these negative emotions and negative feelings about negative feelings. It was very interesting to me what came up and what it kind of showed me about what I might have been lacking as a child or in my childhood that has now transferred into how I function as a normal adult. Both normal and adult being relative. To sum it all up, I've never been diagnosed with depression. And I don't think what I felt on Tuesday was true depression. But for me, it was a low. And it was a depressed feeling. Everybody can feel sad, and everyone can feel varying levels of a negative emotion. And for me, on that day, I felt depressed. It doesn't mean that I am depressed. Just because I feel sad doesn't mean that I'm going to spiral to rock bottom and hang out with all the creepy people from SpongeBob. Let's get back on track. So now we're going to talk about my weekly inspiration. Monday I wrote my blog post and it was called, I don't remember what it's called. Time out for a second. So on Monday, I wrote a blog post called Dear Diary, Embrace Your Fear, and the quote that went along with that, which is my weekly inspiration, was, courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid, courage means you don't let your fears stop you. I love this quote because it's something that I personally have fallen victim to. I used to think that the only people who could be brave were the people who were fearless, and that's just simply not true. I think that everybody deserves to hear that message because you are brave. You just have to learn to unlock it. I guess that's everything again this week. I promise eventually I will get to panic Googling. I don't want to make a solid promise anymore that I'm going to get to it next week, but I have a really great idea planned for that, and I want to make sure I do it right. So I'm not going to do it until I have the ability to put in the time and the effort that it deserves. Until next time, Internet. As you guys probably, I should stop scratching myself in my boobies if I want to do the video. Like, what is this?